Yes, 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 I am back. It's been maybe over 3 months. David Ackrish here, Black Dragon, Modern Combat, and boy, I really appreciate anyone new who's watching and the people who stuck it through. Lost a couple subscribers, and I hope I get you guys back someday. And you go, oh look, he's still doing his thing. And boy, I'm just gonna pick up where I kind of let off on the little bit more application of the beginner weapon training that we've been doing. If you haven't seen all the other videos, I put them in a little playlist. My wife helped me, and and so that makes it a little bit easier. Three of them is just why to train with weapons, even if you're in other systems and whatnot. And then the other, there's six, so this will be number seven, will be on using the collie stick, screamer stick, and Arnis stick. So it's usually called like a screamer collie stick, but it's Arnis. And that falls under the FMA, Filipino Martial Arts. If you don't know much about it, really should look into Filipino martial arts, the different types, tribes, the different ideas. A lot of them kind of overlap a bit, and there's even different ideas within it, which is some people. One guy I've been watching a lot, a younger young man, and he's in the Philippines, I believe, and he's wonderful. But he's just a master twirler and maneuverer of the collie stick, and I believe what he's studying is modern Arnis, but he says he's not. He either is not showing it he's not big into the application part, even though it's all application to me, but of maybe explaining it. And so, but he really is great. He does the sport part. I don't know if he does the sparring, but he does where you're creating your own forms and katas. And but anyways, he's really great. And then there's somebody else, and I should probably, like I always say, I want to get their permission first before naming them, even or promotes them, but still. And he is another. He's wonderful. He's another modern Arnis, and he is into the application. And I think, how many videos does he have? 300 videos. So he's wonderful. I just, he's so great. I've kind of stopped watching a lot of, and it sounds like me being a jerk, and I don't mean to be, but I'm just honest. This is an honest channel. Just kind of dropped the Wing Chun stuff for a while. I mean, I'm still doing it, and I even talk about this a little bit later on these new arms I got that are spring-loaded. Oh boy, that's a whole nother world. But yeah, I've been gone for 3 months, and I feel how when people leave their channel, it's like I look at a channel, I go, I'm commenting, I'm go, this guy hasn't probably even looked at his channel for like 5 years. I'm like, it's good information or whatever. But I think it's kind of hard to kind of start up. It's like a relationship, and it's a weird thing. And I thought, no, I'll do it next day, and just because of so much that's been happening. But probably don't care about that. But a lot has been happening. It's just like in anybody's lives, but a lot really has happened, and I had to just stop. And it's like, I got to do a video. So I'm finally here, going to do this. I even had a birthday. A lot of birthdays have happened. A lot of things have happened. But this is, I'm not reinventing the wheel on any of this. And there's, like I said, even these two people are really great, showing so much stuff. I'm not just about the Filipino martial arts. Now, one thing I am doing is I'm not teaching Wing Chun anymore, really. And I'm teaching FMA, specialist sticks, at one of the community centers here in Albuquerque, which it's been a long road, and it's going really well. And so I'm super happy about that. And I may be even teaching at it's a post for, excuse me, for foreign veterans, and for American Legion, American veterans, and foreign veterans. I don't know. I'm sorry about that. And so I'm friends, and one of my students is a veteran, and so I'm getting involved with that. But I also had a very good, I've been doing a public safety awareness talk lecture, and had some people come, and it was wonderful, and I'm going to do that the rest of my life. So, and kind of just met up at like a coffee shop, but people are interested, they're involved, Albuquerque is supposed to be one of the most dangerous places. I don't, it happened. I mean, to me, danger's everywhere. So maybe we're thinking it's just population versus crime, which is how you see it. So it's supposed to be one of the most dangerous places. But honestly, we live in a beautiful place, and you know, we know where to go and where not to go. But you know, I don't know. I've just been enjoying being here. We've been here for about a year and a half. So we moved from Seattle. So anyways, got a lot of videos behind this video that will really lead you up to this. So look at them. I'm giving away a lot of information, very detailed. One of the biggest things about me is detail. And so, because again, this is about close quarter combat and rapid resolution of a conflict. And so it's a distinction that's very different than sport or even what I even call martial art or sport or just exercise. So that's not what I'm about. So I'm like picking up that maybe where that person is saying, I don't really want to talk about that part or really show it as much or emphasize it, but I do. And it's my passion. It just is. So that's the way it is. So again, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. So if you haven't gone back and just looked at the number 1 and number 2 angles, and I'm putting those together with what I call a shield, and it's a bit complex, and I work your way up to it, and so it's very important training, doing the florettes and the zeros, and getting your arms and loose and your wrists especially. I'm teaching these people, and one of the biggest things is that wrist and arm and shoulder are very stiff for most people, and the older you get, they kind of stiffen up, or it depends on the job you're in, or whatever. Sometimes it's the opposite. You're really weak and loose, and you need to build up. So it could go either way, yin or yang. But but stiffness is a big deal. I think even in people that are weak, they're not flexible, and that's kind of getting Chinese medicine thing. That's kind of a blood deficiency problem, and so your tendons aren't strong. They're not flexible. They're not moistened, and so that's another world, but sort of, because it's not, because it's what I'm talking about. So anyways, and I've been training a lot. Now I talked about earlier about where the grip should be so you could have a punyo end, but I've been doing a lot of, another grip is not have the punyo end and go all the way to the very end. So it's flush right here. One of the ideas with me, or I don't know what the word is, but is that if you twirl, so you're watching me twirl here, don't ever do this, okay? This is ridiculous. Because this is about combat. So you don't ever want to, we're not trying to twirl just to look fancy and cool. We are keeping weapon retention. This is a military thing, a police thing. It's a combat thing. And so you want to keep retention of your weapon. So that means you're going to have a lot more flexibility in your wrist and arm and shoulders and tendons. And so the training I've been showing, a lot of people show with even just the basic twirl, which comes down, comes back up, is an emphasis in what I'm teaching. And some people don't, well, why are we doing all this? Let's do all the, it's like, because everything is based on that flexibility and strength at the same time. They go together and are extremely important. So I've been, it makes a big, sorry, Mr. Mokchong. It makes a big difference when you're holding, boy, let me move just a little bit this way. It makes a big difference when you're holding at the very end versus even giving a little bit. The balance point is different. It's like people talk about knives and wherever. And so I like it. I've been really training with this a lot. But let me go back to the way that I've shown it. So I'll go to the punyo. And this is a and I'm using a really light, sometimes I use the really heavy training, and I've talked about that, sticks, weapons, and this is super light. So I'm just doing this one tonight. So very light stick, very fast. And I'm not doing anything fancy here on what we're going to do, which is the very first, and I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just throwing a number 1 strike and a center line push, slap. So no footwork, no nothing, just, I mean, you can step forward if you want to, but I'm more concerned with just like a combination, like a boxer's throwing the jab and the cross. This is sort of a jab here and the cross here, but don't think of it that way, but think of it sort of that way as a close, idea where we're throwing these number one strikes, coming down. Go back a little bit, not hitting Mr. Mokjong, I'm sorry. And then striking straight center line, just giving someone a push. So don't worry about what you're striking at, like what area, what zone, what point. Just practice being fast and combining. And you notice I'm pulling back and then sending my hand out and then relaxing a little bit. So here's the Wittek, quick strike, half beat you could say, and a half beat. So you can think of that as 2 half beats as a whole beat. So I'm here and I'm drop my arms down, which I call combat position, which is just normal everyday life. My hands are down, what's up, I'm at the bank or whatever it is. Someone harasses you and you come up, strike with the 1, and then I'm giving a palm. And I'll turn a little bit here so you can see. And I have to turn a little bit so I can cross my own center line of where the strike is. So let's just say we're striking someone in their shoulder. Okay, we're giving them, we don't want to hit in the face or anywhere. Let's just say that's our target. So even though I said earlier, don't worry about it, I'm still saying this is just think of the target as a shoulder and in a chest. Shoulder and chest. I'm saying that so you get somewhat of an idea of where we're placing the strike. Shoulder, chest. Now with the 1, it's kind of easier in a sense with the palm because you're pulling back and you have a wide open space. If we're going to do a 2, which we are going to do, then suddenly we're cross body and I'm striking downwards. You use a little bit of waist. Then you have to decide what level the stick is and compared, because you're crossing our other arm, to the palm. And there's no right or wrong. It could be underneath, like a strike, and come over the top. And then I'm in this position here where I can strike again. Okay? So 2 over the top, 2 over the top. And if you're going to do a 2 from a very beginning situation, it's going to pull through, strike with here, turn here, and relax. Or here and underneath, and you're in this position right here. And this is a position. This is where you end up and have this here, and then you can throw another quick little strike or all the way down. And that is a different type of 2, the Loptic 2, where I'm going all the way down, striking through. But here I only want us to work on, or you, well, it's us, to work on the 2, come through, strike with the 2, and then, sorry, from here. I almost moved over because that is another way to get out of the way. But I want this to be quick and the least amount of movement as possible. So as I come through with the strike with the 2, my hand just comes through. So you're just going like this, relax, 2, and then open palm, relaxed, don't stiff arm, just relax, and you're just slapping something out of the way. Now here, and I can also come over the top. I like this one too, and it puts the weapon a little bit lower, or you can leave it on your shoulder, or even here. So here, and strike, and then I'm in a kind of what I call folded position, like a bird folding their wings in, and then this can come back out again. And the same thing here is to do a triplet. So I'm triple striking, 1 here, and maybe relaxed here, and then strike again. So I used to be against leaving the weapon up high, but I've changed my mind. And because I always would keep it down because I wanted to get the most out of it. But here I've been working on just keeping it in the same alignment, or I could say the same zone, more of heaven, keeping your hand up above where heaven is, and then doing the palm and doing one more. I'm gonna strike straight through. So nothing fancy. I did not invent the wheel here. This is, you see it all over, but in here I'll do it with just the end here. Here, I'm holding on the end and no puño. But this is very important. practicing here, just like I said, like a boxer. Now I was thinking about my whole thing that I've gone over on other ideas is that you have to train like a boxer. You have to put the time in. So you're fast, so you're powerful. You don't have to train as long as maybe someone who boxes is going to do 5 or 10 rounds, but you have to put some time into this. You know, even 10 minutes a day of just going back, you know, doing your one strike here, pulling through, and going, wow. And you'll start developing the feeling of ideas where you'll maybe create like here, I just did a 1-2 and then a palm. 1-2 and then palm over the top. And so develop your own ideas, flow into different things. And it doesn't have to be fancy, but different combinations. And I think that's about it for the video tonight. I just want to get a video out and start the application process. I will give one other, you know, I'm going against what I said earlier, but one place to think of maybe, instead of just the shoulder, is maybe striking in the wrist. Somebody has something in their wrist, or in their hand, I'm sorry, and you want to strike the wrist and becoming accurate at it. So the reason that came up in my mind is because it's, find a stick, do this, but hang something, have something, even a tennis ball, but maybe something bigger, just a wad of clothes. That, so it doesn't have to be anything hard or, you know, that's going to move around, or you don't want to spend that much money, but just a piece of rope, a small rope, and bundle up some clothes, tie it up together, and strike it. Strike like a cat going after something, and become accurate at that point. So even something this big, like a cantaloupe, so you know that there's a possibility of you being accurate at hitting something that, and maybe you hit it, then it starts moving. You go, wow, I got to hit it while it's moving, because that could be reality. It could be life. So like I said, this is more of, and just something as simple as that will get you really far, further than not doing it. So it's super important having a moving object. You don't even have to have somebody putting the stick out there or doing Sinawali or whatever it is. You can just have something and just strike it 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. And, you know, strike it, try to palm it, and strike it palm, and you become faster. It also brings up kind of a fire inside of you, and I don't want to say aggression.